Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond Green's message after Steph Curry's remarkable performance going into Thursday's contest against the Orlando Magic. The Golden State Warriors were on a 6-1 run over their last 7 games. The team's recent success was largely due to Jimmy Butler, whom their Warriors acquired at the trade deadline. Since the Butler acquisition, the Warriors had ranked number 6 in offense. Not only that, but it made them tougher on the defensive side, as they were also number 2 in defense according to Sleeper Hoops. But that's not what Thursday night was about. In fact, Butler struggled. He scored just 5 points on 1 of 7 shooting. Luckily, it was going to be a magical Stephen Curry night. Down 17 points with the clock winding down on the first half, Curry made a 3-4 court shot at the buzzer to cut into the deficit. Curry picked up right where he left off in the third quarter. Not only did he help erase the deficit and give Warriors the lead, but he also became the oldest player in the NBA history to record multiple 20-point quarters in a season. Forward Draymond Green gave his thoughts on Curry's remarkable performance in the win. "We had nothing going and he kind of kept us afloat." Green said he completely took the game over. "It was a special one for sure." After that statement, Green delivered his message with a smirk. "He likes playing here." Green said that was a good one. "It's funny because we were sitting around the other day and he just started naming like 5 arenas that he was like, that a great arena. It's always great when we play there, and this was one of them." Curry has averaged 27.6 points per game against the Magic in his career according to StatMuse. While they all can't be Curry, probably wishes every trip to Orlando could end like this one. Steph Curry goes nuclear with ridiculous shooting performance. Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry is still one of the most explosive scorers in their league. Even though he's now 37 years old, he's one of the few players in the league that teams truly fear getting red hot and going for 50 points in any given game. That was exactly the case on Thursday. Curry and the Warriors took on the Orlando Magic. In Orlando, Curry went off at a level that only a select few NBA players have ever reached. Even though he makes it seem relatively commonplace, the Warriors have been red hot since acquiring Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline earlier this month. They came into Thursday's game winners of 6 of 7 and are on the cusp of playing themselves into the top 6 in the Western Conference and out of the play-in tournament. That momentum continued in a tricky road game against the Magic, and it continued thanks to Steph Curry. Yes, that's a ridiculous 123s for Steph Curry on just 19 attempts. The NBA record for threes in a game is 14, held by former teammate Klay Thompson. This was Steph's 4th time having 12 or more threes, more than any player ever. Look at how many more games he has with 9 3-pointers than everyone else. Who knows how many more of these insane Steph Curry games we will have left in his career. We should enjoy these eruptions while we still have them. The Golden State Warriors have found new life since acquiring Jimmy Butler at the NBA trade deadline. After flailing in mediocrity for multiple months, the Dubs have showcased a resurgent confidence amidst a 5-1 start to Butler's tenure. Now 31-27 on the season, they are in the middle of a tight race for the middle and back-end seeds in the Western Conference postseason. Now that Golden State looks revitalized, high expectations are back. The Warriors are heading into a 5-game road trip that will send them across the East Coast, but feature just one opponent with an above 500 record. So if they keep rolling, what should Dub Nation expect from them? The Warriors road trip: Game 1, Orlando Magic. The Magic are easily the second best opponent the Warriors will face on this road trip, which speaks to the weak competition. The Magic have not found the firepower to build a consistent offense, and given the Warriors' recent defensive dominance, that's a particularly tough matchup. If the Warriors played Orlando later in the trip, it might be a bigger challenge, but this should be a victory if the Dubs are truly back as conference contenders. Expectation win: Game 2, Philadelphia 76ers. There's a different universe where the Sixers are a top contender in the Eastern Conference, and this matchup creates some interesting fodder for Paul George what ifs. Instead, Joel Embiid is likely out for the season and a top 6 protected 2025 first pick seems to incentivize Philadelphia to embrace a full-blown tank with a day of rest after stopping in Orlando. Their Warriors should easily take care of business. Kevin Durant says he shut down potential Warriors trade for a relatable reason. It's just such a big change and I've been through it before, the NBA star noted while appearing on Draymond Green and Baron Davis's podcast. Kevin Durant's dedication to the Phoenix Suns isn't the only reason he ejected the idea of a trade deal with the Golden State Warriors in early February. I didn't want to move, the 36-year-old NBA star said of not switching teams in a conversation with Draymond Green and Baron Davis on a recent episode of their podcast The Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis. It's just such a big change and I've been through it before. He noted later in the show of the rumors that the Warriors were going to ask him to come back as the NBA's February 6th trade deadline loomed. I was like, damn, that's not really it. The two-time NBA champion was a force on the court during his 3 seasons with the Warriors. Durant then joined the Suns in 2023 after a few years with the Brooklyn Nets. For Durant, returning to the San Francisco team in the middle of the season wasn't an option. Me just getting up and moving in the middle of the season, it's going to be a big blow to any team I'm going to. Durant continued on the podcast, adding that he cost a lot for me. Looking at it just don't make sense for either side right now. The Olympic gold medalist shared that he wants to see what his Arizona team can accomplish together, especially with the departure of Cam Johnson and Mel Bridges, who were traded to the Nets 2 years ago. I'm trying to see this through to the end and see what we can really do with it. You know what I'm saying, Durant told Green and Davis. I feel like I'm committed to my coaches and teammates. Later in the podcast, the power forward reflected on some of his favorite moments playing with NBA legends LeBron James 40 and Stephen Curry 36. I felt like I was the only one on the court who knew what he was thinking, said Durant of playing with Curry, his former Warriors teammate, during the 2024 Summer Olympics. After playing for so long together, Durant knew what plays Curry wanted to make without any verbal communication. That was cool to feel again. He added the two former teammates were joined by LeBron James, a forward for the Los Angeles Lakers, and other big names on Team USA, eventually winning gold. The win and the meaning behind the global event was powerful for Durant, who spoke about the Olympic Games during one of his most emotional interviews in the Netflix documentary Court of Gold. People get to start laughing and joking before a game of ball. It's cool to me, so it gets me emotional, said Durant in the documentary, which follows Team USA's gold medal finish at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. People travel so long to come see their favorite player in the Olympics. They spend their money, they bring their whole family. It's just dope to me now that the Olympics are over. Durant will continue to make career decisions that work best for him. I want my career to end on my terms, he said on the podcast. That's the only thing I'm worried about. You know what I'm saying? And you fan, what do you think of Kevin Durant's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.